In a Sunday stunner, SSI Motorsports has parted ways with probably dirt late model racing's top driver right now in Ricky Thornton Jr. We'll talk about what we know, what's next, and react to the whole situation. Let's go. It's Monday, July 8th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Did you guys know the myKubota app is your ultimate companion for managing your Kubota equipment on the go? Stay connected with your machinery with real-time monitoring and maintenance reminders. You can track your equipment's performance, view manuals, and more with just a few taps. I was curious what the closest dealer was to me here in the Charlotte area, so I opened the app, one tap on the dealer's button, and there it is, highway equipment and tractor. Never miss a beat with myKubota because your success is Kubota's priority. Download now and revolutionize the way you work with your Kubota. To get the myKubota app, scan the QR code in the lower right corner of the screen, click the links below in the video description, or search for myKubota in the Apple app and Google Play stores. So, as I'm sure many of you have already seen at some point over the last 12 hours, we had an absolute bombshell dropped on us in the late model world. Around 9 p.m. Eastern last night, it was revealed that SSI Motorsports and driver Ricky Thornton Jr. had split. More than 60 wins together since 2020, lots of big paydays, a record-setting Lucas season in 2023, including a best-ever win tally of 19, and over $1 million in earnings, plus an already decorated 2024 campaign so far. Thornton currently has 11 Lucas wins this year, plus one with Dirt Car at Volusia. He's got 2 Northern All-Stars victories, the Wild Flow Series win at Macon, plus that Dirt Late Model Dream prelim win last month. He's leading the Lucas Championship by a very wide margin over Jonathan Davenport. He tops the Flow Series right now and is second in the XR standings. The 20RT went 5th to 2nd on Saturday night at Muskingum County with Lucas and hasn't finished outside the top 10 in a late model race since pulling in early during that XR show at Kokomo. He hasn't finished outside the top 10 in a Lucas race since running 23rd at Golden Isles in February, and he hasn't been out of the top 5 in a Lucas race since an 8th place run at Atomic in March. The quote from RTJ in the press release said that he and SSI Motorsports team owner Todd Burns met on Sunday, and that Burns, quote, expressed that he felt the last few months hadn't been going in the direction that he envisioned for SSI Motorsports and has decided to hire another driver, unquote. The timing of all of this is pretty wild as the Flow Racing Night in America Series races today at Lincoln Speedway, and Lucas is back to action on Thursday at 34 Raceway with a 3-race weekend coming up. Seems like a pretty quick turnaround on a new driver, but I guess it doesn't take all that long to bolt in a new seat to your race car. So those are the most important facts of this situation, and I'll give you everything else I've got, which really isn't much. I was just as surprised as you are about this move, and like many out there, I can't seem to square it in my brain. And because it makes absolutely no sense, at least in terms of performance, that's going to give way to all sorts of rumors and speculation, and that's happened already. Whatever Burns' motivations were, though, which I doubt we will ever truly find out, they must have been pretty strong to bounce the most successful late model racer over the past 2 years from his team mid-season. At the end of the day, it's his money and his operation. And this was a stark reminder that the car owners hold all of the power. If RTJ can get dropped after the run he's been on, then nobody is safe. All of those wins, all of that money won was no sort of leverage for Thornton to keep his seat. From a second place run and nearly $11,000 in a check on Saturday to out of a ride on Sunday. And looking at the way the release reads, it doesn't seem as though RTJ was expecting this either, as his phone number and email address were listed for any teams that were interested in putting him in a car. That's not something you do if you knew this was coming and maybe had something else lined up on the other side of this. When the Flow Series hits Lincoln tonight, though, it sounds like Thornton will be in attendance to race. I don't know at this moment which car, but his Facebook page made a comment about having a ride for tonight. And Flow Racing's Dustin Jarrett tweeted this morning that Thornton does indeed plan on racing. As for the SSI car, all signs here are kind of pointing towards Hudson O'Neal. I don't think Burns makes this move without knowing who the next guy is. Huddy drove the SSI car before RTJ, and supposedly O'Neal has been getting support from Burns as he's been working through the startup of his own team. In a bit of a strange situation, O'Neal and RTJ's haulers were parked next to each other at Muskingum County just this past Saturday night, and those two black trailers, they sure look pretty similar. This is going to be an ongoing situation for at least the next several days and probably more. I'd assume we'll know pretty quickly the future for the SSI car, although I don't know that I would expect a press release. The press release we got was from RTJ's side and not the SSI side. RTJ's plans, though, may take a little bit longer to settle out, especially with no big rides open at the moment, at least publicly. I do think it's likely we aren't done yet with late model silly season, and I've been told the next 30 days could bring even more changes. I think especially if you're a Longhorn-associated team, having the chance at a driver like RTJ could open some things up and have other owners questioning their current drivers. I also think this sets up some intriguing things to watch going forward. Can the SSI ride be as successful with a different driver? We'll see. They often say you don't want to be the guy after the guy. If it is indeed O'Neal, it's taken him some time to adjust to the Longhorns since leaving Rocket, and getting in this car will not exactly be pressure-free. We've obviously seen how this goes. I think it'll be incredibly difficult for any driver that takes that seat with all of the winning that Thornton has done. My assumption is that crew chief Anthony Burrows is staying. RTJ did thank him in the release, which would seem to be a plus there as well. And then on the flip side, can RTJ recreate what he had going somewhere else? At the moment, he needs at least something to keep his Lucas season from completely going sideways, but it may not be a car and a team ready to win right now. My feeling is that both sides will likely suffer at least a little bit in the near term during the adjustment period. This puts a pretty wild spin as well on the rest of the Lucas season, especially with that top four having already been fluid this year with O'Neal parting with Rocket. Davenport and Devin Moran probably look good. Tim McCready has been making moves to get himself up into the mix and into that top four. But now I don't think Thornton's lead is safe, especially with so many nights still to come before the cutoff. Mike Marlar and O'Neal are on the outside looking in, but I wouldn't count anyone out at this point. I feel like back when O'Neal and Rocket split, we were left saying, wow, this was really big. When was the last time something like this happened? But for it to happen twice in a season like this is beyond crazy. We're talking about knowing when lightning is going to strike. The comment section below is open. Feel free to share your thoughts on this whole situation. I know you guys probably have a lot to say and a lot to think about this. And I know there were a lot of other things that went down over the weekend, but we'll call it good there today. There'll be plenty of time in the coming days to talk other things like PA Speed Week and more. And I'm sure we'll know a lot more here in the next 24 hours about what the future holds for RTJ and SSI Motorsports. So stay tuned, fam. Hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We will see you all right back here tomorrow. Well, I guess that is unless something crazy happens in the next 24 hours. See you guys.